The spawn point. An object in Roblox that every player, regardless of age, gender, or other demographic, knows. This single brick has been etched into the minds of all Roblox players as a special symbol. The only brick in a Roblox game that can revive you after death. No matter how many times your arms fall off and your hats mysteriously clip into the floor, no matter how many times you get rolled in whatever game you're playing, the spawn point is always there, waiting. This posed a question to me. What is the spawn point? And I'm not really talking about the symbol on the spawn point itself. That's an easy answer. It's a decal that comes standard with older versions of Paint Shop Pro. The same goes for the OG 2007 cursor. Oh yeah, by the way, most of the stuff from old Roblox is stolen. Just thought I'd mention that. No, I'm more asking a question of what is spawn? How is it that no matter how many times your character resets, you always come back with the gentle hand of the force field on your character's shoulder, if only for a moment? Well, there are a lot of games on Roblox that seek to answer this question by giving the spawn point its own special meaning. So in this video, I'd like to explore some of these interpretations and come to a conclusion about what spawn really is. When Roblox was first being developed, the engine used a lot of stock assets. These were a strange grab bag of stolen images from Google, stock icons from icon packs, and even sound effects. One of these pieces of stock media was from this image pack of Paint Shop Pro designated as Sun. Now, this wasn't discovered until very recently, as Paint Shop Pro is just kind of a worse version of Photoshop, and even then, there are free open source image editing software like GIMP that functions better than Paint Shop. This is still pretty common in software development these days. Stock assets are often used as placeholders until the company gets custom ones made. However, Roblox is weird, as they just kind of kept it in. Certainly that's never caused any sort of issues, but I guess since Roblox's earliest days, the spawn symbol has remained the spawn symbol. You can just open Roblox Studio, click the spawn point icon, and bam, there's your spawn point. This has given the Roblox community a sort of soft spot for the spawn logo. Its mystery has been used in many modern Roblox games, and it's looked at as one of the last surviving members of quote-unquote old Roblox. That being said, the interpretations of the spawn point range anywhere from that of a metaphor for growth, as rebirth is often looked at as a version of growing up, to an unholy, nightmarish cult symbol worn by psychotic individuals within the Roblox mythos. I personally find the spawn symbol to be a fascinating image for developers to use in their games, and there are many different interpretations of it. So let's explore it. But before we get into the absolutely unhinged uses of the spawn symbol, some unfortunate news. Only 20% of you watching this video are actually subscribed to the channel. I want to hit 200,000 subscribers by summer, and I honestly think that we can do it. However, I need your help. If you've been watching this channel for a while and haven't subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? Now, back to the video. Now, I am man enough to admit when I'm wrong, and I can agree with most people when they say that my original review of Forsaken was pretty bad. That being said, I am working on a re-review of that game, but I'm going to wait until the new characters are released, as that's the update people are the most excited for. Instead, I would like to talk about something that I didn't really mention, or rather glossed over a little bit in my original review: the characters. Specifically one character in particular, one of the ones that I didn't recognize from the Roblox community: Two Time. Two Time is one of the most interesting characters in the world of Forsaken. Ignoring the fact that he's literally the worst survivor in the entire game by a mile, and it's not close, Two Time happens to have the most interesting lore in the entire game, if you ask me. Two Time's description reads: a fragile cultist holding a horrible secret. When mortally wounded, they resurrect themselves with wings and tails and recover as if nothing happened. In-game, Two Time's only ability is to revive himself after taking mortal damage. He doesn't have a heal, he doesn't have any utility whatsoever, he only revives himself after dying. This easily puts Two Time at the bottom of every single survivor tier list.
Two Time. This character is one of the worst in the game, and it's honestly not hard to see why. Two Time has absolutely no active abilities. It's all about that passive ability, which is, well, underwhelming to say the least. Two Time feels more like a liability than an asset.
But what I'm here to discuss is 2Time's story. The description mentions that 2Time is a member of a cult. This cult isn't named in the game, so we'll just call it the Cult of Spawn. Clearly, as shown by not only 2Time's main game mechanic, but also his lore, this cult believes in respawning, the act of being reborn upon death. Sounds familiar? However, this rebirth comes at a cost. When 2Time dies in game, he takes on this stony, etched-looking appearance, loses half of his already abysmal 80 health, and grows ever more manic. However, the true cost of the respawn is hidden within 2Time's milestone skins. And because I have a schedule that I must maintain, no, I did not get milestone 100 on 2Time for this video, because that would be completely insane. I'm getting all of this from the official Forsaken wiki, so just keep that in mind. 2Time's cultish activities have caused a great deal of hurt for both him and his former best friend named Azure. Both 2Time and Azure were members of the Cult of Spawn and believed in the concept of rebirth. However, 2Time's mind was slowly corrupted by the cult, leading to a single event that destroyed him and his friendship with Azure forever. At some point during their devotion to the Cult of Spawn, 2Time sacrificed Azure by stabbing him in the chest with a Ghostfire dagger, a real Roblox gear that really hasn't been used in any sort of modern game up until this point. Azure happens to be an upcoming killer in Forsaken, but right now all we really know about him is that he was killed by 2Time. This is further shown in 2Time's milestone skins, which depicts milestone 4 2Time carrying a picture of him and Azure before the sacrifice. This is a fantastic interpretation of the spawn point. Instead of being the beacon of life that we've all come to know it for, Forsaken has, like with many of its themes, twisted it into something more dark, something unholy. In order to truly respawn and to come back from the dead, one must sacrifice the life of their greatest ally, and 2Time accomplished this by sacrificing Azure. This could be the reason that 2Time is able to respawn at all, and Azure has morphed into a twisted killer. But the spawn point has been morphed in even more interesting ways, and that's where we get to talk about Pressure again. Pressure 4.5 was the biggest update the game had gotten since the Raveyard. Yeah, remember that? And brought with it an insane amount of new world building. There's new entities, new voice lines, and most importantly, sea bunnies. But by far the most interesting piece of new content was this. N.O.S.T, another division of Urban Shade designated to researching the Banlands. N.O.S.T has been in the game since release, but only now are we seeing any content directly involving them. The first major N.O.S.T addition is this, the Banlands. Before, when you died in Pressure, you could spend in-game currency or Robux to buy revive tokens. These tokens gave you one free revive that would immediately res you at the start of the room that you died in. This was a fine addition, but clearly the developers thought that they could do more with the resurrect mechanic, and that's where N.O.S.T comes into the picture. Now, when you die in Pressure, instead of just reviving where you stand, you're instead sent to the Banlands, or Roblox's version of Hell. The Banlands are often referenced in many different Roblox games. Fighting mentions the Banlands quite a lot in the game's canon, and there are several characters who are either directly from or are closely related to the Banlands. There's even a map in the game that is straight up just called the Banlands. But Pressure's depiction of this place is far more interesting. N.O.S.T is often thought to be shorthand for nostalgia, which I guess would make it N.O.S.T or N.U.S.T. I'm gonna call it N.O.S.T. As Pressure's depiction of the Banlands is heavily inspired by old Roblox, with 2007 trees and several crossroads structures in the background, as well as the familiar sight of the Respawn logo everywhere. Even N.O.S.T's Division logo is a Respawn symbol with a pentagram in it. Can't really get more on the nose than that. The pentagram is a symbol of Satan, the Antichrist, and is a direct contrast between how the Spawn symbol is typically interpreted. For in this universe, the symbol of respawning is almost viewed as a blasphemous act, and this ties into the real meat and potatoes of 4.5's update. One of the rarest rooms in the entire game is this, a gigantic chasm in which an enormous angel of sorts is held in restraints. This is the guardian angel of the Banlands, a terrifying entity whom Urban Shade captured and brought to the Hadal Black site for research purposes. This angel has its own document, where all of this information information is learned. However, the most important thing to note is that while most, if not all of Urban Shade believes that this angel is an enemy, something that mercilessly killed one of the original expeditionees sent to the Banlands rivers, reading further into the doc, we learn that Mr. Shade, Urban Shade's mysterious overseer, sent the team to capture the angel in hopes of extracting its holy blood. This blood, aptly named Pure Blood, is given to Urban Shade personnel when it's their time to go. This pure blood absolves any who drink it of their sins, allowing them to get into heaven. It's a cheat code, in a sense. Despite the horrifying, ungodly things that Urban Shade personnel have done, from capturing and torturing innocent people like Sebastian, to holding and experimenting on terrifying anomalies, one sip from this pure blood absolves them completely. And of course, because the Banlands is hell, the devil's down there, and mighty pleased with Urban Shade for detaining the guardian angel. This led Urban Shade to literally make a deal with the devil, allowing any fallen personnel to come back to life via the Banlands. This apparently also pertains to the EXR-P, aka the Expendables, now sent to the destroyed Black Site to retrieve the crystal. But through all of this, one thing still remains ever present: Spawn. The spawn symbol, hovering over the Guardian like a blinding sun, surrounding the pentagram that N.O.S.T so proudly displays on their logo, branding itself onto 2Time's chest. The thing that connects all of this. There has to be something more. Something more to explore about this strange, strange symbol. And what do you know? There is. And it all has to do with this one specific item called the Necrobloxicon. I've mentioned this before. The Necrobloxicon is a weird item. Not only is it impossibly rare to find, but it just defies logic itself. A cursed item that, when held, acts as a bright red flashlight that illuminates dark spaces. While I would typically not talk about something this small, there's one specific fact about the Necrobloxicon that makes it unique to this situation. The Necrobloxicon is in both Pressure and Forsaken. That's right, the thing connecting these two games together is not just the unholy use of the spawn symbol, but the Necrobloxicon item itself. But not even just the item, but rather the person or thing that created it. A mysterious character by the name of Nolly. Yes, I know this is a real account, and it kind of falls under the category of Roblox myths, but that's not what this video is about, so yeah. Nolly is only depicted visually in Forsaken, and as of writing this video, they're an upcoming killer. But if we combine Pressure's depiction of Nolly and Forsaken's depiction of Nolly, we can start to at least somewhat put the pieces together. Nolly is close friends with the devil, and obviously the one responsible for writing the Necrobloxicon. However, there apparently is a cult that started to worship Nolly as a sort of dark god. Sound familiar? Could this be the very cult that 2Time is a member of? In the world of Pressure, this cult discovered Pandora's box, which is not in Forsaken. However, after discovering Pandora's box, all of the cult members died, potentially going back to the belief of respawning. That, or they all went insane after opening Pandora's box like a bunch of idiots. But I don't really know. My main point when talking about all of this is that everything I've mentioned all share that one thing: the spawn symbol. This stock asset has birthed, or maybe it's rebirthed, so many creative interpretations of it, and I can't wait to see what developers do next with it. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Peace.